Greetings, everybody. This is the Doctor. Welcome to Star Trek Online. I'm recording this video as of January 28th, 2015. We have the 5th anniversary of Star Trek Online just right around the corner, ever so close. There have been a ton of announcements these past few weeks in Star Trek Online about things to come, things that are changing, some big updates to the game, and some new things just like this Ava Dor Lockbox you see here. So this is going to be a rather large news update to inform everybody of what is coming in Star Trek Online for the 5th anniversary. We have a ton of things to go through. So I'm just going to go through each tab here I've already opened for each subject on the web page. You can find this, of course, on the Star Trek Online web page. I'll put a link down there so you can go read these things for yourself and stay up to date. But here's the big thing, celebrating 5 years. That's right, Star Trek Online is 5 years old. Can you believe that? It lasted. It lasted, guys. It lasted. To all the people, and I know I was kind of one of them too, a little worried there during the, second year of the game when Atari was no longer going to have Cryptic, and Cryptic was basically up for sale, and who would take it, and there was about a year's worth of the game receiving no updates. So I feel your pain. I was there with you. There were a lot of questions, would the game make it? Oh, the game will never last. It'll last a year or two, and that's it. Well, here we are 5 years later, and it's still running, and I don't see it ending soon. Star Trek Online, 5th year anniversary. We're pleased to announce the 5th year anniversary of Star Trek Online. In celebration of this important milestone, the popular in-game anniversary event will return to Star Trek Online from January 29th to February 26th, including a new story episode featuring Garrett Wang, Harry Kim, and Kim Rhodes, Lindsay Ballard. She's back, folks, from that Voyager episode where she only appeared once, but she is back. The anniversary event brings in game improvements, including a revamped Romulan story arc. Who expected that? A revamped Romulan story arc, wow. New secondary deflector items, finally, thank goodness, and updates for the bridge officer training system, which we kind of went over before in a previous video, and of course I will fully cover once it's out in the game. Our development over the last 5 years, including 12 major updates and 2 expansions, focusing on introducing and improving in-game systems in past half-decade, has solidified Star Trek Online as a compelling MMO experience for both Star Trek and science fiction fans. We look forward to celebrating with you to our 5 years and many more to come. So there's a lot here going on. All right, so there may be some spoilers here, by the way, to the end of the Kabbalah Prime storyline missions. So if you have not played through to the end of specifically the Kabbalah Prime missions, that's the one where you are on the Kabbalah Prime homeworld and you do all those ground missions, and they're rather short, but if you do all of them, it culminates into an ending, a surprise ending that nobody expected. So if you haven't played those and you don't want to be spoiled, close your ears and your eyes. If you have played it or you've seen my playthrough of the Delta Rising series, which I've already done, then you are aware of this fact. But the story that is going to be presented in this anniversary, the new episode, is based on that information. So if you haven't completed the Kabbalah Prime storyline missions, I highly suggest doing so. It will really help, and this will make more sense to you, I guess, as you play this new episode. When Captain James T. Kirk took the Enterprise out, it was originally scheduled for a 5-year mission, so 5 years has a pretty big significance in Star Trek lore. Seeing Star Trek Online mark a date of 5 years of live operations is a cause for celebration unlike any other year. And this anniversary, we are pulling out all the stops. This year, we've got 2 additions to the anniversary content that will run from January 29th through February 26th. The first of which is a new featured episode called Dust to Dust, and the second is a new minigame where Q has tasked you with stabilizing Omega particles across the galaxy in an effort to secure the keys to the new Kabalah Samsara cruiser starship, as well as to craft some upgrade kits in the process. Alright, so here's where you may hear some spoilers. I haven't read this yet, so I don't know for sure, but I know how that Kabalah Prime story ended, so yeah, Dust to Dust is going to deal with that, basically. In Dust to Dust, captains will be teaming up with Captain Harry Kim, voiced by Garrett Wang, and Jet Laya, voiced by Kim Rhodes, who played Lindsay Ballard in that episode of Star Trek Voyager where she appeared. I recommend watching that episode, by the way, if you want to get a little more information about her character and how Harry Kim connects to her, because they have a very close relationship. And especially as humans, they went to Starfleet together. And they're very close as humans. She became, this is not a spoiler because this is a Voyager episode, she became a Kabalah because she died. And that's the whole point of that episode in Voyager, is that she comes back as a Kabalah. All of a sudden, here she is as a Kabalah on Voyager saying, I'm Lindsay Ballard. They don't believe her. Eventually, they believe her. And she really is. She just was one of the crew members that died on Voyager and then was turned into a Kabalah. That ties in with the Kabalah Prime storyline mission, especially the very end one, that you'll encounter in Delta Rising, because there's something that happens there, and I'm not going to say what it is here, but there's something that happens, something that's revealed, and it's going to connect her character to Harry Kim. So this Dust to Dust picks right up from that. So you will want to watch the Voyager episode, number 1, so you are familiar with Lindsay Ballard, because she was only in one episode, so you may not remember her. Number 2, you may want to, if not play through the Kabalah Prime missions, watch my videos on that playthrough of the Kabalah Prime missions to the very last one, and I'll put a link in the description is what I'll do. Maybe in the video. No, I'll put it in the description. I'll put a link in the description, and that way you can go to that specific episode and just watch that scene, but just know that that is filled with spoilers when you do that. Alright, you'll face off against the remnants of the Vodwar fleet. You'll see Kabalah's new flagship and go deeper into a mystery revolving around Harry Kim that began more than 30 years ago. In addition to the new episode content, Q is up to his annual shenanigans. This time in order to acquire Commendations, so Commendations are going to be required from reading this, you will be required to stabilize Omega particles found in various social zones in Star Trek Online. Talk to Q to get the mission Omega Stabilization Daily, and you will be given 3 zones to visit where you must stabilize an Omega particle using a new minigame. The minigame is simple. Omega molecules will fall from the left in front of 4 channels. Captain will use either the keyboard or the mouse to move the capture device into the correct channel as the molecule hits the right hand line. The more molecules you capture, the more Omega molecules you'll safely dissipate, and the more points you will score. Of course, I will do a playthrough of this minigame when it comes out, and we'll see what that's all about. But it looks like Commendations are going to be required to get the new ship this anniversary, so we aren't necessarily getting a free ship. Sounds like there's grinding involved. Q doesn't care how many points you score, just that you complete the minigame in order to receive credit for his mission, but the points do matter. The more points you score, the better chance you will have at scoring better quality Omega particle remnants, which can be used with the R&D system to craft special Omega upgrade kits. So if you are a crafter, you will probably want to get as many points as you can, so you can use some of those to make upgrade kits, Omega upgrade kits. Sounds interesting. Omega traces come in 3 different colors of the Omega nodes themselves. Using the R&D system, you can combine 1 of each trace into an Omega silver. You can then combine 3 Omega silvers into an Omega shard, and 3 Omega shards into an Omega fragment. 3 Omega fragments can then be combined into an Omega upgrade kit. Well, that sounds complicated, so yeah. Completing the minigame will score you at the very least a single Omega trace. The better you score, the greater your chance to win Omega silvers, shards, or even fragments. Even if you don't have the daily mission from Q, you can still find and stabilize omega particles across the galaxy. In any social zone, there will always be 2 omega particles up at any given time. You may have to hunt them down, but they are out there. If you have to do the daily mission, a waypoint will appear on your map where the 2 particles are currently found to help narrow your search. So that's a lot right there, and I kind of like the idea that it's galaxy-wide instead of just one area, because in the past, they would push you into one zone, like Starfleet Academy, to do all the things, and then of course there would be too many people there, and you would get people walking over people, or people stealing other people's stuff, and it was kind of crazy. By pushing this out throughout the entire galaxy, it lets players pretty much go where they want to do this. I kind of like that idea. Completing Dust to Dust will earn you 400 commendations, and each run of the daily mission will earn you 40. For 1,000 commendations, you can purchase the Kabalah Samsara Cruiser Starship in the Collect 2015 Anniversary Event Reward project found in the Events section of the Reputations tab. Once you have purchased the ship, all your other characters will get a discount, requiring only 40 anniversary commendations to get the Samsara. So that's good. That means you only need to spend 1,000 once, and then after that, your other characters will be able to get it on each of them for only 40. So that means then running the Dust to Dust mission is all you would have to do, and you'd have way more than enough. So it looks like 1,000 is required, so you're going to get 400 from doing Dust to Dust. That's going to be your biggest pile of commendations. And then after you do that, each daily is going to give you 40, so you will want to keep doing this every day for 40. So somebody can do the math there and see how many days that takes to get the Kabalah Samsara Cruiser Starship. So that's what's going to be required to get the Starship. So you want to play Dust to Dust, and then you want to do the daily every day. That's going to be the best way. So that is a lot of information right there, and that's probably the biggest part of this anniversary, is that, you know, people are going to want to play the new mission, people are going to want to grind for the new ship. So that's going to be a big part of this anniversary. So that means that minigame will also be a big part. You'll probably see a lot of people doing that to get those commendations. But there's more. It doesn't stop there. Oh no. Let's actually go, instead of there, let's actually talk about the Kabalah Samsara. This is the ship that you're going to get. This is the Tier 6 cruiser. So a Tier 6 ship, at least. Very powerful. It's a cruiser, and a lot of people have commented that they really do like the design of this ship. They believe that the content creators have really made and the artists have really made a very, very nice looking ship. And I kind of like it. It's a little long, maybe. I would maybe make it a little bit shorter, but other than that, it's a very big cruiser. During Star Trek Online's 5th anniversary event, you will be able to obtain anniversary commendations by participating in the event. These anniversary commendations can be spent on an event reputation project to obtain the Kabalah Samsara Cruiser. The project requires 1,000 commendations. Kabalah starships are known for their exceptional ability to provide support to their allies in large-scale starship combat. The Samsara Cruiser is a durable Kabalah Tier 6 cruiser that was outfitted to fill the role of a mobile command center. The new starship features a universal console that can be used on any ship, a very rare Mark 12 warp core that is part of the Kabalah space set, a lieutenant commander command/engineering seat, and a brand new starship trait. So here's all the stats. Tier 6, all factions, Vice Admiral to fly it. You have to complete the event reputation project, so that's 1,000 commendations. Hull strength on this is 43.5 at level 40, 50,000 at level 50, and up to 58,000 at level 60. Shield modifier 1.15, so the shield capacity will be a little bit higher. A pretty large crew, 650. But not as big as Enterprise D. Enterprise D had a 1,000 crew. Weapons, 4 fore and 4 aft, so it's going to be very beam heavy, I believe. Device slot 4, 1 lieutenant tactical, 1 lieutenant commander/engineering, 1 command engineering, or commander engineering, I think they meant there. 1 lieutenant commander science, 1 ensign universal. 3 tactical, 5 engineering, 3 science. So this is going to fit really well on an engineering character for sure. Base turn rate is 7, a little slow. Impulse modifier 0.15, plus 5 to all power levels. The universal console is called Regenerative Integrity Field, if I can say that right. And you also get the Kabalah Field Stabilizing Warp Core, which is a very rare Mark 12 warp core, and it is part of a space set, apparently. You have the Starship Ability Package. You have Absorptive Plating, Rapid Repairs, Enhanced Plating, Armored Hull, and Emergency Response Starship Trait. Those are your Starship Masteries, basically. Then you have Cruiser Commands because it's a cruiser. So let's see what this console does. The Kabalah Samsara Cruiser comes equipped with the Regenerative Integrity Field console. When activated, it provides a large hull heal that improves in strength as health decreases. In addition, it causes all outgoing directed energy attacks to heal your starship for the amount of damage dealt. This console also provides a passive bonus to hull healing. This console mod can be equipped in any console slot. It may be equipped on any starship. You may only equip one of these mods. Sounds pretty cool. I think that sounds like a really neat console. I'd like to see that in action. The Kabalah Samsara Cruiser comes equipped with a special Kabalah Field Stabilizing Warp Core. This warp core cannot be equipped on warbirds. However, Romulan players that open the Kabalah Samsara Cruiser's reward pack will also receive a Kabalah Field Stabilizing Singularity Core. So Romulans do get the core, you just don't get obviously you don't get the warp core, you just get the Singularity Core. Duh. Below are descriptions for each of these items. These warp cores are also part of the Kabalah Regenerative Circuitry. This will be revealed in the anniversary episode rewards. So you're going to want to replay the anniversary episode Dust to Dust to get the rest of the rewards, or the Kabalah space set, which you can put on any ship. You don't have to just put on the Kabalah ship. You can put this space set on any ship. So I'm interested to see what it has and what it can do, because it could be beneficial on another ship too. Okay, the Field Stabilizing Warp Core increases maximum shield power by 5. That makes sense because it's a Field Stabilizing Warp Core. They're all basically shield-based. This warp core was built with fleet support in mind. Its standard battery capacitor has been significantly upgraded to provide a large shield heal to nearby allies. Very cool. And basically the same thing with the Singularity Core, except it increases power level by +5 to +15 based on your Singularity charge level. So that's kind of cool. So it's all about shields. Okay, and the starship trait you get after achieving level 5 in your Kabalah Samsara Cruiser Starship Mastery, you will unlock the Emergency Response Starship trait. While this trait is slotted, your hull and shield heal bridge officer abilities will have their recharge times reduced by 10%. If you suffer damage while below 50% hull strength, this can occur once every 4 seconds. So that looks like a way to cool down your bridge officer timers, the cooldown basically on your hotbar of those abilities that have hull and shield heals. So that's basically a bridge officer cooldown is what that is. How do I acquire this? Well, you complete the new anniversary featured episode, Dust to Dust, and do the dailies and get accumulations, 1,000. Will I get a discount on my other characters? Of course, yes. It'll only require 40 after you get this ship on 1. That's really nice. Thank you for that, Cryptic. How do I get a Command Specialist Bridge Officer to slot into the ship? You can purchase white quality Command Bridge Officers for energy credits in any major hub at the Bridge Officer requisitions. Alternatively, you can train your existing Bridge Officers to be a Command Specialist via the Officer Training R&D School once you have spent 10 points in the Command Specialization tree. The Kabalah Samsara Cruiser also features its own all-new Kabalah Bridge. So what it's talking about there, those command, is that's going to be part of the new revamp of bridge officers. And we're going to talk about that. We got many tabs to go through, so thank you all for staying with me this long. We got more to go. Like I said, this is going to be a long news update here because there's just so much to talk about. But it all needs to be said before the anniversary starts, right? Okay. Now, this may be a little spoilerish. Actually, it's very spoilerish. I just realized looking at that picture. So, this page I'm about to show you right now is probably full of spoilers from the end of the Kabalah Prime storyline missions. If you haven't played through that and you are waiting to get that reveal yourself, and you don't want to be spoiled, close your eyes and your ears for me reading this tab right here I'm about to read. If you already know the spoiler, then there you go. In fact, I probably just already spoiled it by having that screenshot on the screen there that I didn't realize was a spoiler until I actually looked at it. Psst. Sorry about that. Okay, here it goes. I'm going to scroll up now. Personal log, stardate XXXX. It's almost time. The healers tell me all his damage is repaired and that the genetic virus is transforming his DNA. Not much longer now, and he'll be with us, his family. I still can't believe we found him. I knew where he might be, but it had been so many years, and anything could have happened. Just finding him was a miracle. Bringing him back, it's a dream. We've decided to name him Catan. It just feels right, you know. I'm practicing using his name now. I've gone to visit him every day since we brought him home, just to see how he's doing. He doesn't know I'm there, but I know, and that's all that matters. I still don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I know how hard the transition was for me. I fought it for so long, even ran away from my home and family to my old life. But I didn't fit there anymore. No matter how hard I tried, they moved on without me. I don't blame them. People die, their friends mourn, and then they keep on living. It's what we're supposed to do. Me coming back, I don't know if any of us were ready for that. I certainly wasn't. I thought I'd just step into my old place on Voyager, and it'd be like I'd never left. But my old place wasn't there anymore, and my new place was here. Rebirth was bewildering and infuriating, confusing, all of it at the same time. I didn't know who I was, where I belonged, and it's going to be just as bad for Catan. Maybe worse. He was always so close to his family. I remember this one time back at the academy when I had no place to go for the fall break, so I asked him to come with me to Risa. It would have been great, but Harry had to go see his folks. No time for fun. It's going to be hard for Catan, but this place on Voyager was filled. His life was over. This is the only chance now, and I want to give it to him. He just has to accept it. Yes, Harry Kim, dead and turned into a Kabbalah, because of the episode of Voyager where there were duplicate Voyagers kind of just out of phase, and one Harry died on the ship, and another Harry went over from the other ship with Naomi to the other Voyager. So there are basically two Harrys in this universe now, and the one we've seen as captain of the Rhode Island and all that in the game obviously is the one from the alternate Voyager. This one is the real Harry right here. This one is technically the first one, the one that died from, I guess, one of the Voyagers, if you think of it that way. Really confusing, but there you go. Okay, spoilers over. Let's see, what do we have next? A Ava Dor Lockbox is coming. The recent reemergence of the Ava Dor supremacy caught the entire Delta Quadrant by surprise. Brave captains from all factions have stepped up just in time to defend against this renewed threat from the past and are constantly pushing back against their origin onslaughts. Okay, let's not go over all the history. We know all about the voyage. All about the Ava Dor. Dragon's Teeth is where it was. Yeah. Let's see what's actually in this thing. Thank you for bringing in this lockbox. Okay, what do we have? We are offering players a chance to obtain a Tier 6 starship with each Ava Dor lockbox that is opened. The Ava Dor Manasa Assault Escort T6, which shares the visual appearance of the NPC Assault Vessel and Scout Vessel, is a nimble ship with a focus on tactical seating and consoles. This ship has an intelligence hybrid bridge officer seat and comes equipped with the well-known Polaron Barrage console, seen frequently in use by Ava Dor in space. These mine things, which are just absolutely terrible. They will rip your ship to pieces. Finishing the Starship Mastery path on the Ava Dor Mansa Assault Escort T6 will grant captains access to the following ship trait: Frontal Assault. Activate any cannon enhancing ability. Rapid fire, scatter volley, or surgical strike provides a boost to your shield hardness and shield regeneration along your forward shield arc. I just hope they got the orientation of this ship right. That's all I'm saying. I hope that this one flies in the right direction, unlike the Bentham cruiser, which still flies backwards. Come on, Cryptic. Fix that already because it's driving me insane. Absolutely insane. You guys do not know how crazy it is making me that the ship flies backwards. I just can't stand it. Alright, moving on. We are also adding the Vodwar Astika heavy battlecruiser to the Low-Buy Crystal store. This imposing starship, which shares its appearance with the heavy artillery vessel, focuses more on survivability than its nimble counterpart, but still maintains a strong focus on offensive firepower. It features a command hybrid bridge officer seat and comes equipped with the Assault Mode Relays console. This console can be activated to deploy additional stabilizing thrusters, improving the ship's ability to land powerful critical hits at the cost of maneuverability while active. When activated on the Mansa Escort, this trade-off is less severe, but it also engages additional forward-facing shield improvements. When used on the Astika battlecruiser, the cycle completes by sending out a sensory jamming pulse that blinds nearby foes upon deactivation. Finishing the Starship Mastery path on the Vodwar Astika Heavy Battlecruiser will grant captains access to the following ship trait: Supremacy. Gain a small boost to all subsystem power at any time you damage an enemy while under the effects of beam, fire at will, or cannon scatter volley. This boost stacks up to 20 times. So, Vodwar ships, if you're a Vodwar fan, I mean, come on, we all knew eventually that was going to come to the game, right? I'm looking forward to this one right here. Finally, a Hatak. I can play a Gua'uld. In addition to these Tier 6 starships, each Vodwar Lockbox also has a chance of rewarding a Tier 5 starship, the APU Cruiser. A little disappointed that it's a Tier 5. Gotta be honest with you, I think it should be a Tier 6. Hopefully, at least it's upgradable to Tier 5U. This vessel boasts a strong focus on defense, while maintaining a versatile bridge officer seating arrangement. Players can choose to utilize either the Pralor or Kravic materials when flying this vessel. It can be upgraded to Tier 5U with the use of a ship upgrade token. See, that's complete baloney right there, because they stated when this whole Tier 5U thing was being announced that lockbox ships and low-buy ships would have free upgrades to Tier 5U. So why is this one going to cost me a ship upgrade token? It should not. It should be free. It should be a free Tier 5U ship. I hope it is. We're going to find out. I definitely want one to try. First of all, I think it should be a Tier 6, but then it definitely better be upgradable to Tier 5U for free. But anyway, yeah, you could fly a Stargate character on that. That would be pretty cool. Also appearing on the Low-Buy Crystal Store will be the Vodwar Pythos Fighter. This stylish small craft utilizes its classic visual appearance of the Vodwar as seen in Voyager. Every Pythos fighter comes pre-equipped with a 360-degree Vodwar Polaron emitter array and has integrated access to Cannon Scatter Volley 1. So just a small ship there. I'm not a big small ship guy. A new set of genetic sequencer trait unlocks can be obtained from the lockbox, each exemplifying an aspect of the Vodwar's tactics and capabilities. So we've got ground sniper, damage bonus for all weapons based on range, 5% bonus, 20 meters of 25% at 40 meters, half bonus versus players, so a nice ground ability. Bombardier, plus 10% bonus kinetic damage, 2 times distance for all non-weapon knockback effects. Space anchored while stationary, gain 1 stack of anchored every 5 seconds per stack. Okay. While in the slipstream, there's more turn rate, and who would ever do that? Leadfoot, no one's going to use that. Alright, in keeping with the theme of utilizing their own tactics and technology against them, 3 Vodwar Tech Kit modules will be available, allowing players to utilize a few of the abilities seen and used during the invasion of Kabbalah Prime, among other locations. Ooh, the Anchor Drone. That's going to be craziness. Summon an automated drone that will lock down a foe, rooting them in position while dealing physical damage. I hated those things on the ground. Vodwar Shield Drone. Summon a friendly automated drone that will provide a shield to the user or a friendly target. This shield will prevent up to 80% of all incoming damage while active for science characters. Wow. So that's the Anchor Drone is for engineering, the Shield Drone is for science, and for tactical they get Polaron Bombardment. Call down multiple orbital energy strikes, showering the area in Polaron damage. Although the targeting can be somewhat unpredictable, the strike has the potential to hit many targets multiple times. Holy crap. It's like orbital strike for tactical officers, but with Polaron bombardment. It's going to be crazy nuts. I can't wait to see that in action, though. In appreciation for the Alpha Quadrant's response against the Vodwar aggression on the surface of Kabbalah Prime, Many high-skilled Kabalah engineers have volunteered to take part in an officer exchange program and are offering their services. Obtaining a Kabalah Engineering Corps Veteran Duty Officer Pack will allow 3 officers to join your roster. So, some more duty officers here. Many crates of Polaron weaponry have been salvaged. All Ava Dor Polaron weapons have unique visual effects on both space and ground. And all ground weapons also use the unique appearance seen wielded by their troops. The unique and powerful energy signatures from these weapons are capable of leaving a lingering debuff on foes that reduces their shield hardness against both energy and kinetic weapons. So, some unique effects. I'm glad to see that. 2 unique ground weapon choices will also be appearing in the Low-Buy Crystal Store. The first of these is a Ava Dor Polaron Assault Debilitator, which boasts an impressive Assault Blast firing mode as its primary attack, while the secondary attack will violently drain the personal shields of anyone targeted, while also dealing electrical damage over the duration. As a more traditional weapon, the Ava Dor Polaron Rapid Split Bolt Rifle fires a standard series of rapid bolts from its dual-barrel setup as its primary fire, then offers a quickly recharging split bolt secondary fire which hits multiple targets in a narrow forward cone. We are adding a new type of numeric boost to the options seen in previous lockboxes. The launch of the Ava Dor Lockbox will see the introduction of R&D Research XP bonus pools in both large and small. In an effort to, there's a lot of crap here. In an effort to downplay the severity of the war and improve morale among general populace, a Kabalah toy maker has developed several replica miniatures of the dreaded heavy battle tanks seen used rarely by Ava Dor troops. These mini-tank vanity pets can be purchased from the Low-Buy store. I wish they would attack. That would be really cool, but no, I guess they're just vanity pets. The Ava Dor Lockbox also includes both full-size R&D packs and the mini-packs. Ava Dor officer uniforms will also be available for purchase in the Low-Buy store. These uniforms include many of the visual styles seen in use by Ava Dor ground troops and can be mixed and matched interchangeably. The unlocks includes helmets and mask options, from the classic military duster to the intimidating array of mask options. Captains like you will have a plethora of options available to the outfits the way you want to. Yeah, I'm looking forward to those helmets and masks and stuff. Because I've been wanting some of those in the game. I've been wanting, look, that's Darth Vader. I mean, seriously, it is Darth Vader. I mean, it might as well be. The Ava Dor Lockbox, as well as these thematic additions to the Low-Buy store, will become available on January 29th at 10 a.m. Pacific. Wow, that is a just ton of junk in the Low-Buy and Ava Dor Lockbox here, so get your monies ready, guys. There's going to be some new stuff. More money sinks. Definitely some money sinks here. They want you to spend your money in this game. There's some other things coming as well that we really haven't talked about a lot, and this is connected to the new Bridge Officer revamp. I'm just going to briefly go over this, but Command Specialization, that's going to be a thing. The Captain Specialization system that came with Delta Rising has offered players a new purpose for their continued efforts. Even after reaching the level cap of 60, specializations offer additional advancements. Of course, they're talking about the captain specializations, but your bridge officers are going to have specializations now too. The life of command officers is easy, blah, 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 blah. Many of the abilities unlocked through the command officer specialization also stack. Let's see, the command officer builds upon the concept of coordination. Okay, yeah, I really don't know how this is all going to pan out until I try it. Also, captains increase theirs from 60 to 90. As long as you have the command officer specialization as your primary, you will gain maximum shield. There's just a ton of information here. Honestly, I don't understand it all yet because I don't know how it's going to be implemented and stuff in the game. But again, I'll leave a link to the web page here, and you can go and look at all this information yourself. But basically, this is really going to change our bridge officers and commands, all that good stuff. And also command bridge officers. Training a command bridge officer. I mean, there's just a ton of information here. Command officer abilities. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to work. I can read all this, but I can't visualize it in my head until I see it in the game. And then at that point, I'll figure it out. So, look at all this stuff. Take cover, hammer and anvil, overwhelm, shield, shock and awe, strategic analysis, delegated devastation. Some really cool names. Needs of the Many. An ability called Needs of the Many. I love that. What ships or seats allow the use of command officer abilities in space? In order to utilize the command officer space abilities, you must be flying a starship that has a hybrid command officer bridge officer seat. That's not confusing at all. They are not usable. Boy, I kind of miss the times when it was just the way it is now, where it's just so easy. You know what to slot where. It was just science, engineering, or tactical. Now you have hybrid intelligence officers. You have hybrid command officer, bridge officer seats. What the heck is all this stuff? Really, come on. It's starting to get a little complicated. Even I can't follow this. I mean, this is just crazy nuts. I'm going to have to dive into this stuff to figure it all out. Rest assured, I'll do a video on it, but until I figure it out, yeah, I'm confused just as much as you are. Simple ship transitions in our continuing effort to work on quality of life issues and start quality of life issues. I love that. Yeah, there's a lot of them. We are adding a new system for simple ship transitions. We hope this change will make it easier for players to try out different ships and enjoy the process of switching ships when leveling. So ship switching is going to be made simpler, I guess, which I didn't think it was complicated now, but I guess it is. This new feature is to help equip new ships that a player acquires. When a ship is readied for the first time, all of the items that can legally be fitted on the ship will be moved from the old ship onto the newly readied ship. Thank goodness for that. I think that's a good change, especially for new players of the game who always, didn't know that they could drag their old stuff from their old ship into their inventory and then equip a new ship and then put that stuff on their ship. Some people I was watching just flew with the default equipment on the ship and didn't realize they could put their old equipment on the ship. So I like that fact. I think that'll make things a little more easy, or a little more, recognizable. You'll know what to do. You'll know that you can put things on ships like that. This system is only during the first time a new starship is used. The new ship cannot have any items moved to it manually. This feature will only work when... So some new stuff here. We'll have to see how that goes. It's going to go up in a future update, so I don't know that it's going to be out for the anniversary, but that may be a thing coming later. Secondary deflectors. So happy about this, except I heard it might be just a little limited, but let's see. Because it is able to project many different energy beams and particles, modifying the deflector dish has saved more than one starship from destruction. Recognizing the vast array of uses these utilitarian devices can have, Starfleet engineers in the late 24th century started equipping some of their science vessels, including the Intrepid class, with secondary deflectors. After several successful field studies, these secondary deflectors have been authorized to roll out on all science vessels. It's expected that the Klingon Defense Force and Romulan Republic will also adapt the technology for their own use. The Dyson Science Destroyers were the first starship to feature a second deflector item and served as a prototype for this type of item. Our inspiration came from the presence of a secondary deflector, sometimes referred to as an auxiliary deflector, on science ships such as the Rhode Island and Voyager. We also wanted to further create synergy between science officer powers and science vessels. To fully support this feature, all science vessels other than the light science vessel will now have a secondary deflector slot. A good general rule of thumb is that if the ship has both sensor analysis and subsystem targeting, it will have a secondary deflector slot. This slot will be awarded to all new and existing science vessels. Hooray! There are three basic types of secondary deflectors: deteriorating, inhibiting, and resonating secondary deflectors. Each type offers a bonus effect to a subset of science bridge officer abilities. Below is a breakdown of the types. Okay. This type, deteriorating second deflector, enhances science bridge officer abilities that apply a debuff to a target. Inhibiting, this type of secondary deflector improves science bridge officer abilities that place a control effect on the target. So here's some abilities: Tachyon Beam up here, Charged Particle Energy, Tychon's Rift. I use Tychon's Rift, so deteriorating would be useful, but then I also use Gravity Well, so inhibiting would also be useful. But I can only have one, of course. And then resonating, abilities that heal or buff your target. So if you heal or buff, or you're, that kind of support role, a resonating one. Okay. I'm probably going to have to go with inhibiting on mine. I use Tractor Beam and I use Gravity Well. That's like it, though. Obtaining secondary deflectors. This new type of item can be obtained in one of three ways: Common white quality secondary deflectors can be purchased from the energy credit space equipment stores found on most ground social hubs. All rarities up to Mark 12 can drop from enemies as loot. All rarities up to Mark 12 can be crafted by players with the Science R&D School. Alright, and there are mods to them, obviously, like standard deflectors, uncommon, green, rare, blue, ultra rare, ultraviolet, epic. Secondary deflectors gain a starship stat boost. However, these items also gain a single special enhancement at very rare purple. Below is a list of possible enhancements these items can have. A defense, a heal, a damage, precision subsystem targeting, and accelerated subsystem targeting. Ooh, that's kind of cool. So I'll have to see what'll best fit my ship. Will my existing science ship automatically receive a secondary deflector? No. However, any newly claimed science ships will receive it. Ooh, okay. Alternatively, you can purchase a common secondary deflector from many. Okay, so you're going to have to claim a new ship if you want to get the secondary deflector. Can my ship use a secondary deflector? As mentioned above, if your starship has both sensor analysis and subsystem targeting, it will also receive... Okay, so it may receive the slot, but if I want to have the secondary deflector like on it by default, I would have to reclaim the ship. Are there any immediate plans for adding secondary deflectors to any space item sets? Not at this time. Okay. Finally, and I don't know when this is going to come to the game though. It doesn't say. It doesn't say if it's for the anniversary or not. But when it does come, finally, secondary deflectors. It's been a year. Literally, it's been a year. Romulan mystery update. So some stuff going on here on the Romulan side. Finally, it's good to hear about another faction other than the Federation. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? As part of our ongoing commitment, commitment to deliver, some grammar problems, high-quality content to our customers, we have reworked the Romulan mystery series for Federation players. This content was originally developed for launch, and over the course of the past 5 years, a lot of things have changed in our game. Not the least of which was the role of the Romulans when we created this content. There was not yet a Romulan Republic or a playable Romulan faction. Oh, maybe this is only for the Fed side. Updating the Romulan mystery content. Yeah, this would be for the Fed side. Became an opportunity to weave the story together more tightly. During this series, Federation players will get to visit locations from the Romulan faction series and to play in existing locations from a different perspective. In other cases, the player will experience familiar environments from the old series in new and interesting ways. So this is for the Fed side. The Romulan featured episode portion of the series, beginning with the Vault and ending with the Darkness Before Dawn, remains unchanged. But the other 14 episodes have been distilled down into 4 episodes. No way. They reduced 14 episodes into 4 episodes? I kind of don't like that, because this game needs more content, not less. Let me know what you think about that. Reducing episodes. Reducing 14 down to 4. I can't jive with that. I like the Romulan Mystery series. I think it was just fine. It completely reworked the flow to more neatly together and lead into the featured episode series. But you took away 10 episodes. You removed 10 missions from the game that were fun and interesting. I think the Romulan missions were some of the funnest in the game on the Federation side. I mean, when I got to the Romulan missions, I was like, wow, this is Star Trek. This is fun. This is great. They've removed 10 of them. I want to know what 10 they removed because, yeah, when I replayed the series, this game, which I am going to do probably after Season 10, those missions won't be there now. So that's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to see what that's like because it's going to feel a lot different. That's a lot of missions to remove. I mean, 1 or 2, that's something. 10 missions? Removing 10? That's a lot, folks. That's a lot of missions gone bye-bye. Where they need to be adding content, they are removing content. I just can't get on board with that. Across the whole series, we added voice acting, most notably the voice talent of Denise Crosby, reprising roles in Priscilla. That's good, of course. Nothing wrong there. In Priscilla, this brand new mission. Okay, so there's a brand new mission, thankfully. But still, that doesn't make up for it. This brand new mission features the voice talent of Denise Crosby as Empress Sela. Sela has invited the player to a diplomatic conference on Agrama. Knowing Sela, she has a few surprises in store. The end of this episode is an epic surprise you won't want to miss. I guess I'll have to play that mission alone and see what's new there. So there is a new mission being put in here, but still. Desperate Measures. We combined By Any Means and Sharian's swords into one mission and threw in a visit to a location previously seen only on the Romulan faction mission. The Romulan Empire is conducting experiments on Borg technology. Okay, at least they didn't get rid of that. Shadow Play. This brand new, another brand new episode. Okay, I like that. This brand new episode takes the player to an updated Carini Prime, Virinat, and ties in closely with the Romulan faction featured series. Excuse me. We introduced the Alachi to the Federation player and revealed the sinister actions of the Romulan Empire. Well, that's good because there was some question there who the heck the Alachi were if you played on a Federation character, because you really only saw them on the Romulan faction. Taurus. This mission combined the story elements of Ground Zero with Taurus and was overhauled to take into account the events of Revelation, the Romulan faction mission where Taurus is apprehended by the player. The mission still reveals the secrets of the destruction of Hobos, and it received an update and beautiful ground map for Iconia. Oh, so we're going to go see Iconia? And it looks like we still learn about the destruction of Hobos, because that's a very huge storyline thread. Rewards for each of these missions have been updated. These are brand new missions, so you will be able to earn the first time completion reward even if you've completed the previous version in the past. You can easily access these missions by accessing your mission journal and selecting the Romulan Mystery Episode tab and choosing to hail your contact for the mission. This way you can experience all of the new content. Be sure to try them out. See you in-game. So this will be out for the release of the 5th anniversary. I will do a series on this. I will make a new series and we'll call it the Romulan Mystery, and we'll just do it standalone to play these new missions and see what they're all about, because I'm curious. And it sounds like they may be good, but it still sounds like they took away several missions that aren't there anymore. That, not so good. Finally, what do we have left here? Of course, there's the anniversary giveaway going on right now, January 27th through and 28th, 29th, I guess, for a few days, or this weekend. I don't know what it is. But like every day, you get a little free C-store item. But there are things that they've already given away in the past, like the motion picture uniforms. R&D, I think, was the last one. Really simple stuff that you probably already have. But if you don't, check out the C-store and get the free stuff. So that's the news. There's a lot coming for this anniversary, and really big things are going to be people playing Dust to Dust because they want to get those 400 commendations, but then Dust to Dust is also going to offer Kabbalah, I guess, spaceship items, rewards, and the deflector, the shield, whatever. So there will be mission rewards in Dust to Dust, so you'll probably want to replay that mission over and over to get all the gear. You will also want to do the new daily minigame, the new Q daily minigame, to get 40 commendations each day so that you can grind to 1,000 commendations to get the Kabbalah Tier 6 cruiser. And then once you get that cruiser on each other of your characters, it'll only cost 40 commendations. That means you really only need to play Dust to Dust on every character, and then you would have that ship on every character if you wanted to. That ship is going to have a unique space set with the Kabbalah, but again, you're going to have to replay Dust to Dust to get that. So those are the real big things there. Dust to Dust, the daily, the commendations, the starship. But then there's the Bridge Officer overhaul or revamp, and I think that's coming with the anniversary update. So if that does, that's going to be huge because that's really going to change how we train up our characters and our Bridge Officers and how we get powers and stuff on them. That's going to be new and different. And the whole command specialization abilities for Bridge Officers, that's all going to be new. It's all going to be a learning process. You and me together, we're going to have to learn that. And then it looks like there's a couple of other things that are interesting. The Romulan Mystery update, changing for the feds, the Romulan Mystery storyline and having those new missions available. I definitely want to see what those new missions are like, so expect a playthrough on that when all this comes out, because I definitely want to see that. And then secondary deflectors coming, but it didn't say it would be out during the anniversary. It may be. I think it may be, but it may not. If it's not, then that will be coming soon. The simple the simple ship transition, that may be coming later as well. So that is really it there. Oh, and the Ava Dor Lockbox, there's going to be a lot of Ava Dor items and low buy and the things in the low buy store and Ava Dor ships, and even that APU to purchase there. And the costumes. I think a lot of people are going to go for the costume options for sure. The masks and the helmets and stuff. That'll be popular, I bet. So that's what I got right. This is January. This video as soon as possible. This has been a long news update, but very much worth because there was a lot of news to cover for the 5th anniversary. I will cover the entire anniversary. Expect an anniversary intro video. We'll go see what we can do. We'll do the Q mini game and see how to play that. We will do Dust to Dust. I'm definitely going to play the new mission line. I won't play it, you know, before doing anything else. I'll record my very first playthrough of it, and then I will definitely do a playthrough of the Romulan Mystery series now, those new missions. And I will also look at the Bridge Officer update revamp once I figure all that out. That may take me a little time, though, because I need to figure it out. I may do an intro video that kind of like just goes over it to show you what's there, but to really learn it, it's going to take me some time to figure it out. So that's what I got. That's what's coming up. That's what we're going to keep doing. I've also got another ship review, but this weekend, honestly, is going to be so busy with the anniversary starting up here. So many things I want to cover up front, so don't expect a ship review this weekend, but maybe a ship review next weekend. How does that sound? So that's what I got for now. Star Trek Online, busy as ever. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.